Welcome to the Chaska Human Rights Commission meeting for December 27th, 2018. We will start with the roll call.
All right, Commissioner Carlson.
Present.
Commissioner Colehap.
Present.
Commissioner Leggett.
Present.
Commissioner Dunbar.
Present.
Commissioner Welvert.
Here.
Commissioner Bean.
Present.
And Commissioner White.
Here.
Commissioners Kim and Haga are absent tonight.
Okay. Everyone has the agenda packet in front of them. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chairman, I would like to say a few words at the end of the meeting.
Okay. We'll add that to the new business. So 7B, Commissioner Colehap.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of item 7B, comments from Barb Colehap.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the motion is carried. And we can move on to open forum guest presentation, which I see none tonight in our audience. So we can go on to the next thing, which is approving the meeting minutes from the November 21st meeting for the Human Rights Commission.
I make a motion that they be approved.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And we'll move on to the treasurer's report with Nate.
All right, so for the final report of the year, November we reported a balance of $412.93. So we did have a couple expenditures over the month of December. One was for the name tags of $157.98. And then for the t-shirts of $100, which I had noted on my report as a commitment to pay that. I did pay that yesterday when I picked up the t-shirts, so my report went out before that transaction occurred. So with all that, we end with a balance this year of $154.95. So good work spending that money, guys.
Should have bought more fans.
Next year.
Is there something we still could do or donate or?
I'm sorry,
Don't we
Commissioner
do
White, I
that?
cannot hear you.
I'm sorry, is there something we could do with that or
Have a party?
donate it for the cause? I don't know.
Well, we have 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to do something, it needs to happen quickly.
Is there anything in our bylaws that prohibit us from donating to local causes?
I don't know. Do you know?
That's a good question. I know the city does support a number of organizations already. That's usually just a decision by the council to make that. I suppose if you've got dollars left, you could think about what you might want to do.
Would we be able to ask the council to take that money and donate it to one of the causes that they feel like is a human rights type of thing?
I think the council would look for you to just make that decision.
Oh,
Yeah, couldn't we just
Yeah.
recommend that, like, we know Launch Ministry just moved. They're right here in Chaska, they're right downtown. They need resources. Feels like something that would make some sense.
yeah.
I would make a motion to,
Yeah.
to donate funds that are scheduled to actually go, basically return back, to donate them to Launch Ministry for 2018 year as part of the Human Rights Commission to support their move.
I'll second your motion. Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it sounds like a resounding yes. We have $154.95 that we would like to donate to Launch Ministry and their programs in the community.
It's a good idea, Don.
I will move to make that happen, so. And if
Okay.
there is, for some reason, some sort of thing that prevents us from following through on that, I'll let you all know, but I will do what I can, so.
That seems even more worthwhile than more fans. I mean,
Yes, yeah. I agree.
but I like the idea, Barbara. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, which is our old business. The first item on our old business is to discuss the Human Rights Commission Award winner for 2018. We just had a work session before our meeting tonight where we took a look at, we got 3 applications or nominations this year from people in the community. For people deserving of this Human Rights Award, and that's really exciting to see the things that are going on in our community. So we just had some time to look over the applications, discuss them, and come to a decision about the winner. So the 3 nominees that we had were Jim and Lynn Jackson of Connected Families, and then also Pam Langseth of the Hope House, and Libby Fairchild, who is a resident in Chaska. So after discussion about each of these individuals or couple in one case, we're really excited to see the contributions that they're making to the community. We think they're all deserving of recognition for the wonderful, they're uplifting the community in so many different ways that I'm just really excited to see people involved in the various ways here. Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
Other than just saying thank you to the individuals who submitted submitted the applications on behalf of the individuals, and to thank them for taking an interest in our Human Rights Commission.
And I would like to add, if anyone is not selected as the winner this year, they're more than welcome to be nominated again. They're all very deserving, and we can only have one winner each year, so we'd love to have people back in the mix again so that we can consider them at a different date. So with that, do I have a motion of who we will be presenting the award to?
I nominate Libby Fairchild.
Libby?
Second the nomination.
Okay, so all in favor of Libby Fairchild of Chaska to receive the Human Rights Award for 2018?
Aye.
Okay, well, that's unanimous. I don't know, I just am gonna read a little bit of this because I think that this is a really exciting nomination to read about the different things that Libby's involved in. I'm just gonna list a couple now, and then you can come to the Human Rights Breakfast and hear the rest about Libby. But she was on the Human Rights Commission in Chaska for 9 years, and 7 of those years she served as the chairperson. She's been involved in the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, the Friends of the Chaska Library, the Ho-Chunk Nation Election Board, just the Library Foundation of Carver County, the Carver County Board of Personnel Appeals, and then also working with Families Moving Forward here in town. And it just kind of was amazing to see just the breadth of the ways that she serves human rights in the area, you know, it's not one specific area, but it seems like wherever she goes, she's working on just bettering the lives of others, and seems like just a true asset to our community. So I'm excited about this.
Is it okay for us to mention who nominated her?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but Mary
Kivittek.
Kivittek?
Kivittek?
Okay.
Kivittek.
Did the nomination and wrote just a wonderful nomination that explained in depth what kinds of things Libby has done in her lifetime and up till today, so it's great to see. I'm excited to meet her.
Very impressive.
So congratulations, Libby.
So would you like me to call her and let her know tomorrow, or I don't know if you want to take care of that as the person who's going to be introducing Libby at the Human
I'd be
Rights
happy
Commission
to.
Award? Or okay, sounds good.
This,
All right.
this is something, I mean, we can discuss specifics later because it involves phone numbers, but
Yeah.
do we have her phone number? We have
I
the
believe it's
person
on the
who
nomination.
nominated.
Yep,
Oh, we
Yep.
do,
It does look like it.
yep. Her,
okay.
it's on the
Okay.
nomination.
I guess I didn't read the fine print.
That's all right.
Okay,
And the other thing I'll do is I'll enter or attach to the minutes the nominations that we did receive. You know, I'll make sure to black out, you know, the personal information that's associated with the nominations, but that way, you know, it's in there and people can view them if they'd
Sure.
like.
okay. So we'll move on to the next item is the Martin Luther King Breakfast. It is fast approaching in less than a month. And, well, I have all kinds of notes here. I've been emailing back and forth with Nate and Jeff, getting some of the logistics that are, that we're still trying to fill in. But I think things are really coming together. I will just, with my list of questions, I'm just gonna ask a couple things. Commissioner Leggett, have you found out what the music selection is yet?
No, I think that Adam Bessler, who conducts the Jazz One band for Chaska High School, would like the time to make those selections. So I think what I suggested to Jeff last time was to list on the program just selection 1 and selection 2,
Oh,
not
okay.
specific names, if he needs to
Okay.
go to print. Because the jazz band's only had a couple practices, and they've only had one concert, it was just like
Okay.
2 weeks ago, a week ago.
Okay.
So that's where we stand.
And they'll be back at school next week, so maybe then we'll have some idea.
Mhm. And I'm
Okay.
guessing he'd like to try a couple of songs out.
Yeah.
See how they play them, so that they feel confident going into that concert. So that's why I'm guessing it'd probably be better to just see selection 1, selection 2 versus locking them in.
Okay. Let's see. I talked to Jeff about the MLK excerpts from the speech that he's having the students read that are from the Diversity Club. And he's still working on getting the names of the students that are going to be there. I also found out that he has chosen some pieces of speeches and gives them to the students. So they should be, they should make sense with the breakfast that we're having. Ellen, I was going to check with you. You're still going to introduce the winner at the breakfast? You
Love
had-
to.
Okay.
Yes.
I was seeing if you changed your mind from last month or not.
I'm
but
happy to
thank
unless
you.
you prefer to.
No, you can.
Okay,
You can.
okay.
She is fully committed.
Fully committed.
It's good.
Good. Question, I guess the answer is sitting in front of us, but do we wear our T-shirts that day? So that people at the breakfast know?
I'd
Or name
prefer not to, maybe the name
Oh, the name
tags.
tags,
Yeah.
sure.
Should be good enough, I think.
Okay. This is more of a summer River City Days kind of thing? Okay. So we'll wear name tags. I have ordered the coffee. Dunn Brothers agreed to donate for 100 people. They will donate the cups and the coffee. And then have you heard back from Crooked Pint if they're willing to do napkins and stirrers and things?
Yep, so with the Crooked Pint, I asked them about that. Also asked them to include juice, because I think we wanted, so what they would do would be sort of a juice and water station that would have, napkins,
Cream and sugar.
paper plates or disposable plates out there for people to put their pastry items onto, cream and sugar. I forgot that Dunn Brothers was donating cups, so I asked them to include cups, so I'll ask them to remove that. But kind of with those items involved, and I think the juice is kind of where the bulk of the expense occurs, they could do it for $200. I've also placed the order with Red Bench Bakery, like you all approved last time, or at the last meeting. So they will be preparing enough, and they know that we've got about that $150 range that we want to hit. So they'll keep us within budget and provide enough items that way. So I mentioned to Jeff the additional expense to provide that juice and water service today. His suggestion was that maybe what we do is, take those two expenses combined and just split it between the Human Rights Commission and the Southwest Chamber when it's all said and done. So I noted to him that seemed like a reasonable thing, but I would pitch it all to you. So I don't think that's really going to increase our expense from what we've already approved anyway by doing it that way. So as long as that sounds okay, I'll let Crooked Pint know that they can go ahead and plan to provide that service. And I'll make sure that they know that they won't need to provide the cups.
Well, we may need cups for juice.
For the juice, good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Right.
we're getting coffee cups, but
Right. Okay, so they can have cups too. I doubt that's gonna really change the
No.
cost of it, so.
will you be picking up the Red Bench things, or do we need someone from the commission to do that, or?
I can do it. It may be easier, because then I can just make the payment there rather than, them having to invoice or, us reimbursing one of you for a payment, so that'd be fine.
Okay. And I can pick up the coffee. It'll be ready at 8:15 that morning, so, and we have to, the breakfast starts at 9, correct?
It has 8 to 9
We're advertising at 8
Oh,
right now, yeah.
maybe
on our flyer.
I just went by memory this morning. I'm sure I told her at the right time, so it was 7:15 that it will be ready. I will call and double check with the Amy to make sure that that's right, but we'll make sure it gets done in time. And then what time would people like to come and help start just kind of getting ready to welcome people? 7:30.
I was gonna say, how about 7:30?
I think that sounds good. I mean, we'll need time to just put some pastries out on the table and then welcome people. I know last year we had a couple of greeters at a table right outside the seating area. We had people sign in, and then if they wanted to get emails, then we took their email address. I was thinking we should probably send an email out to all the people who signed up last year. I have that list.
Oh.
I don't know if it's best to just give it to you, Nate, and we can send it out from the city rather than from my email.
Yep, that's
Okay.
probably a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can write up an invitation just to remind people it's coming up again, and we'd love to have them back.
Mm-hmm.
Would that include like the emails we got from River City Days too?
Oh, we can put those people in that too. Yeah, I have the whole list of people, so I'll put those together and then send it to you.
Okay.
And then we'll probably need a couple people who are willing to sit out at the table to collect names again, because I think.
I'd love to do that.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
can do that too.
Be an Ellen Bean show.
Okay, so Lisa and Ellen?
Hmm?
Okay,
Is
thank
being
you.
here at 7:30 still enough time?
7:30 should be good, because they shouldn't be there till a little
Eight-ish.
before,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Last year, no one really got there until right around maybe 7:50, and even
Okay.
then, it was really mostly around, right around 8 when people started.
If we come at 7:30, we can help you with the setup and then still do that. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that we need to discuss for the MLK breakfast?
Should I just bring a notebook then for people to sign in on, or
Don't we have a sign-in sheet?
Yeah, that's.
do we have one, like an,
Didn't we have a
I
an
feel
official
like-
sign-in sheet?
Yeah,
at
I
River
probably have
City
it on my
Days?
computer that we had for
for
River
River
City
City
Days.
Days?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll print some of those.
okay.
Let me just write a note. Okay. So I will bring those and we'll have it be official.
What about,
The keynote.
what about name tags?
Name tags
We
are
can supply 'em.
nice.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
sign in, get your name tag.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know, I think last year too, now that I'm thinking about it, we had some coloring or something. We had coloring sheets, I think, or something, so that
For
kids
children
that
that came.
attended had something to do while they were listening to the speakers.
That's true, we did.
I can look in my files
I
to
thought
see
Jeff
what,
handled that
or
the
did
last
Jeff
time.
do that?
I thought he did.
We can check with Jeff, and he or I can put something together. I'm sure we have 1,000 crayons at our house, so.
Take a handful.
Do we have any more of the pens from River City Days too?
I believe there's still some.
I thought we still
Pretty
had
sure.
some.
Yeah, pretty sure there are. They'd be in the basement, kind of with all the other.
In those
exhibition
bins.
Supplies, yeah.
I think we had pens left, and
So there's a, in the basement, and you two sort of know where that's at, because you went down and checked through some of that stuff, but not to say that you have to go do it, but there is a bin in there with sort of supplies for the Human Rights Commission that gets used at the tent for River City Days, primarily. It could be taken to this event as well. There's other kind of handouts and things that are relevant to this group.
do you
that
still
are
have your
available,
lovely
so.
poster from River City Days?
Oh, yes, I think it's actually sitting in Kevin Wright's cube for some reason, but yeah,
Because that might be a nice thing to bring.
yeah.
Yeah, and we should have our brochures.
Oh.
All of a sudden, we have all these
Boy, yeah.
brochures, posters. Okay, maybe we should show up about 7:15, so we can just get this stuff all set up. And then also,
Are you
you had
serious about that?
mentioned.
That'll be easy, yeah.
Do you really need
I,
that? Or?
I,
Yeah.
I think so,
Okay.
just to make sure
It'd be
we
easier
have
to have 10
everything
minutes
set
to
up.
hang out
Yeah.
afterwards rather than rush it, yeah.
You had mentioned name tags. Does the city have some that we could use, or, okay, can you get those?
Yeah,
Okay.
you get those.
Okay, well, if anyone thinks of other things we're forgetting,
How about the keynote? Is that settled?
oh, the keynote, it is
CDA?
Allison, right,
Allison
from the
Strike?
CDA,
Yep.
and then she has someone who's gonna speak along with her
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that We got the name, but I forget what the email.
I'm not recalling the name right now, but she is someone who, benefits from the CDA services. So she'll be able to reflect on her personal experience, and Allison will be able to talk about, more of the policy and, implementation that the CDA does. So that'll be the keynote speaker there. I'm working with her on, whether there's a title that they want to apply to the address, or if we're just going to, list their names, exactly how it's going to appear on the agenda. I think is we're working on those details, and then the length of time that they'll present. But it'll be something like 20 minutes or so.
One other thing is that I talked with Pastor Dean Seal today, and the Shepherd of the Hill is going to have a Martin Luther King service again at church in the evening. So I'll get the information to Jeff so it can go on the flyers, but then also we can talk about it at the breakfast. It'll be at 7 o'clock, and there will be a minister speaking. She's a retired Presbyterian minister who's a chaplain at Abbott Northwestern, and her name is Denise Dunbar Perkins. There's a featured speaker named Donzel Leggett, and there will be a special message via video from Israel that night, because Pastor Dean will be traveling to Israel, and so he wants to send a message that they will play that night also.
Great.
We went last year to it, and boy, that's a powerful night, so I would really encourage people to go. That's all I know about the breakfast right now. Anyone else? T-shirt and name tag update. Thank you, Nate, for getting these things for us. We're very
You're
excited
welcome.
about them.
You're welcome. Wear them proudly.
Lovely. And we're wearing name tags to the breakfast and T-shirts to something else. Okay. It's a plan. So I think that's all the old business we have right now. We'll move on to new business. I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple things for 2019. I hope that people can start thinking of ideas of things we want to focus on for 2019. We do not have to make a decision tonight. We can have discussion a little bit about it, or we can go home and brainstorm and talk about it next month, whichever people would rather do. It sounds like we will have at least 1 or 2 new people coming on next year, with Barb filling out her terms again, and so she'll be taking a year off, and hopefully we'll see her again in a year. But, so we just want to thank you for everything you've contributed to the group and to the community. You have been such a great teacher to us of how this works, and it's so awesome to have you as a founding member, and that you keep coming back and sharing what you know and what you do, and we just love you.
Thank you. I want to say that right now, I think this is a terrific organization. It's a go-to, and I can tell from what I've known you, that you're a go-after organization. So I hope that you will continue that and continue to act like that. I want to say also that I have found that through the years, once in a while, very seldom will somebody say to me, "What does the human rights do?" And I quickly have to come up with something. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens the most often down in the River City days. And to me, this was the highlight of our business and our year and our recruiting. It was just fun to sit at River City Days and talk to people and get them to approach us. I think that River City Days is our best weapon. So I encourage you to continue to do that. Also, at one time, we had some people come before the meeting. We advertised they could have, I think, 20 minutes. And we were very fussy about that because they would go on and on and on about their complaint. So somehow I think that maybe there can be something in the newspaper or something on the Martin Luther King Day where we can say that you are welcome to come and tell us some arguments or something that displeases you about your life in Chaska. It might be your apartment. It might be that you are looked upon with despair because of your race. But we have done that, and we had pretty good luck with people coming in and telling them their problems and seeing if we could help them. And remember that we don't have to help everybody. We don't do it. We send them to the Human Rights Office at St. Paul. They're well paid, these people in the Human Rights Commission office in St. Paul. And so we make it very clear to people that we give them a phone number and where they can take their case the next time. But we do not really solve it, but we allow them a chance to petition us and to tell us their problems. And I think they go away feeling better. Like, for instance, tonight, I felt terrible not being able to say, I'll do this when you were picking your positions for the Martin Luther King Day. But, so the public, if they can come to us and tell them what's bothering them. Unfortunately, we've had people from Carver, and I think that maybe this is something we can discuss. People from Carver or Eden Prairie, which we've had in the past. I think maybe we can relook at our Constitution or our minutes about that. Are we going to listen to people outside of the Chaska? But River City Days, I think that you should all just block away whatever life you have during that week. And be down there.
Yeah.
Just be at that booth and make yourself aware of the people and encourage them to talk to you, even though probably neither of you has anything to say, but it's good publicity for the human rights. And we're certainly on the right track at this moment with your group. So I know you'll continue on. So that's my finale.
And you can still come to meetings and keep an eye on us.
Yes, we have a chair right over there that you can sit in, so.
Barb, you're wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Thank you.
are absolutely a treasure
oh,
here, not only in Chaska, but in Carver County and the state of Minnesota. Everyone knows you, everyone loves you, and we're just all very fortunate that we get a chance to serve a little bit with you, and you just set a very high bar.
well,
So thank you for everything.
thank you. You too have set a high mark.
On top.
But it's been fun. Like, this is so much fun. So that tells you something about my life. If this is fun.
Well, we agree with you.
I've loved serving with you, Barbara, and one of the funnest nights I've had, which wasn't with the commission, but was when you rode with me to Waconia for that dinner and to get to know a little more of you personally in your life, and I'm proud to be your friend.
Yeah, I encourage you to do to all events where you meet other people. Yeah.
And to drive together, that's a really great way of getting to
It
know
is
each
for
other
me.
besides the meeting, because I have loved driving with Barbara to these meetings. And we were just talking about tonight, the first time we came to a meeting together, we had a horrible snowstorm and almost didn't make it up the hill to get her home. And tonight we have a horrible rain and slush storm, so it's kind of bookends tonight.
Hopefully it isn't ice.
circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll just offer up my thanks as well as a staff person. Barbara, you've come in and helped me understand the history of the Human Rights Commission, the role that it plays in the city, and, you know, just how it can be effective, you know, based on what you've been able to achieve in the past. So I appreciate that perspective and my ability to learn from you, you know, so much during the couple of years that we've been working together. So thank you.
Well, thanks to all of you for your kind words.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And you're gonna come with lots of friends to the Martin Luther King breakfast,
Yes, I
right?
am.
So,
And we'll
We'll
save
see.
a seat for you at the table at River City Days.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep us company.
Well, I kind of diverted from the 2019 goals. Got on to more important things right then. But, so if people just want to start thinking about ideas for next year, I think that would be good. That this year we focused on housing and homelessness, and I think that was nice to have a focus just because it didn't mean everything we did centered around that, but a lot of things we did, we tried to at least have a connection to it. You know, we also learned about like Veterans Court, and we did, you know, just several other projects throughout the year that weren't tied to homelessness. But I think it's nice to have kind of a guiding idea.
Theme.
Right, so, and if it's not super specific, I think that makes it easier for us to kind of tie things to it. I know next year, coming up in February already, is the Transfer of Memories
Memory.
exhibit
Yeah.
that we will be working with the police department on, and it is, or with Chief Knight. Is the police department sponsoring it also, or is
Yeah,
it?
us
okay.
along with the police department and the parks department.
Okay.
It's all three of us are working together on that. Yeah.
Do we know if there's anything that we as a commission need to do to help get that going, or?
Yeah, I think as we're getting closer to February, we're starting to talk with them in more detail about, you know, the promotional side of it. And so there will be a couple community events that will be made available, and in addition to the exhibit being at the community center in the gallery area all month long. So as the plans for the marketing and the promotion materialize, I think that's something that you all can be really helpful in. You know, we'll be putting stuff up on our website, we'll be putting things on our social media and all of that, but if you all can play a role in helping to spread that word, you know, based on what we post, and I can share things directly with you via email or, you know, whatever the appropriate outlet is, I think that's gonna be really helpful. We really want to try to drive as many people to it as we possibly can, so.
If there are flyers or posters,
Mhm.
can you send those to us?
Yep, absolutely.
So that we can put them up at churches, apartment buildings, wherever we are.
Yep, that would be great, that'd be very helpful.
Do you recall the date of that speaker that they've already arranged? There was an email that came out about.
So that's a slightly separate,
Isn't that with
thing.
the same project?
It's similar, but it's separate, yeah, yep. So this is another speaking engagement that's being put on, and I think Chief Knight is the one who may have organized this one as well, or an organization that he's affiliated with, I'm not exactly sure. but it's an individual who's a Holocaust survivor. Now, it's outside of the transfer of memory exhibit. It's a separate but kind of coinciding event. I don't recall the date, but that was an email that I sent out to all of you. That's more of a limited audience. It's not necessarily a public event. So just so you're aware of that too.
Excuse me, this week I heard that the 21st of February is the date they're going to have, some discussion about it, and book club discussion also about it at the lodge on the 21st. Now, I don't know any other dates, anything else.
Yeah, and that is one of the events that we've been working towards. And I don't have the dates either for some of these other things, but we will be making that available to all of you. The book club and the book reading, we've also been working with the library on that as well, so that hopefully we can make it a broader community read, in addition to the folks who are at the lodge and the active older adults that attend the programming there, working with the library to open it up even more broadly than that. So I know the library is going to be acquiring some of these books. The Parks Department is acquiring some of these books, and that's more geared towards the lodge, but working together to do that. I also know that we've been working with the library to hopefully have some sort of a display of books that are relevant to the topic at the Chaska Library here, so that'll be another thing that'll be going on along with that. So a number of different things. We've been working with the Rotary Club so that hopefully we can tap into that group and give them an educational opportunity. I know the Southwest Chamber is going to be holding one of their networking events there during the month. The police department is going to have their staff go and do a thing, training during that month. So we've been sort of working with targeted groups as well. Another one is trying to get the school district involved and hopefully get some classes that could come and tour the exhibit. So I guess that would be another one to throw out to you if you've got contacts at the school district that you want to open up that discussion with. Connect them with me, and if there's interest there, we can try and make that happen too. So if you can help with that, that'd be great.
So to answer your question,
Yes.
or to prompt us to discuss potential topics for 2019, I think January with the inspiration from the Martin Luther King Breakfast and February from the transfer of memory should give us some excellent ideas for us to think about during the 2019 year. So I'm willing to kind of put my thoughts, not necessarily on hold tonight, but
To develop them?
to develop them. Thank you. Wonderful choice of words. And come back in January with a list.
I think
Potential.
that sounds good if everyone wants to come with some
Did
ideas.
at one point we talk about hunger and maybe like incorporating food drives in different events, even the breakfast event? That was months ago though, I think.
I think we had discussed that and never made a decision.
Okay.
I think it may be too close to try and do that in this one, but it's something that we could keep in mind for other events. Yes, bring that up again, please. Our next meeting would be January 24th, so that's the same week of the breakfast, so we should have some fun stuff to discuss at that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else tonight that we need to go over?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.